Good morning, all of you. Now, everybody will join the Hindi prayer. Close your eyes and join your hands and open your videos also.
सुबह सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु। सुबह सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु। करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु। शुद्ध भाव से तेरा ध्यान लगाए हम, विद्या का वरदान तुम्हीं से पाए हम। शुद्ध भाव से तेरा ध्यान लगाए हम, विद्या का वरदान तुम्हीं से पाए हम। हाँ, विद्या का वरदान तुम्हीं से पाए हम। तुम्हीं से है आगाज तुम्हीं अंजाम प्रभु करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु। सुबह सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु। शाम प्रभु सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु।
Good morning, everyone. And now I am showing some images in front of you. Have you ever heard about this situation? Cape Town. Do you know where is it? Where is Cape Town?
Ma'am, your voice is very low.
Yes. I am showing some images. Is it audible? My voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I am showing some images of Cape Town. Do you know where is it? Cape Town is in
South Africa.
South Africa. And have you ever heard about the water crisis in Cape Town? You just see the situation.
Yes.
You just see the situation. These are the some images related with the water crisis in South Africa, or we can say Cape Town. Cape Town Coys, city facing disaster as huge water drought to sea taps cut off. Now we'll start the chapter. I think, is it clear to you that we are starting the chapter water resources? But before this, we will just discuss something about the South Africa or Cape Town. In January 2018, When officials in Cape Town announced that the city of 4 million people has 3 months away from running out of municipal water, the world was stunned, shocked, and day zero labeled. Day zero means no water. Labeled day zero by local officials and brought by 3 consecutive years of anemic rainfall, yani less rainfall. And April 12, 2018 was to be date of the largest drought-induced municipal water failure in the modern city history. So now these type of images, photos of past earth dams and residents lining up to collect spring water splashed across new site. The city's contingency plan called for the entire population to collect its water. A maximum of a 2-minute showers worth a day per person from 200 centralized water centers, each serving the population equivalent of an MLS soccer stadium. Then 12th April came and went, and the news of the crisis evaporated. 1 year on, after 1 year, Cape Town has apparently made it through the worst of a historic drought without turning off the taps. Although the water supply is still tenuous, but still, now the city managed to evade disaster. A combination of water conservation and efficiency measures, smarter use of data, and a little help from Mother Nature serves as a largely hopeful precedent for cities globally facing increasing risk of extreme environmental events. 90 critical days. You just see the countdown to day zero. You just imagine your life. 1 day, 2 day without water. It is very difficult to survive. And now we are talking about the 90 critical days in South Africa. It was not a silver bullet, but a barrage of efforts that averted disaster. One big boost came in February 2018 when the national government throttled allocation of water in the region, earmarked for agriculture, allowing more to flow to urban residents. The same month, farmers also agreed to divert additional water stored for agriculture purposes to the cities. So the city's conservation efforts were as important and more remarkable. Cape Town's government ramped up water tariffs and enforcement of prohibition on heavy users, prohibiting use of municipal water for swimming pools, lawns, and similar non-essential uses. The government also implemented a new water pressure system in January, saving roughly 10% of over municipal water consumption. So this is a situation of
मैम
South Africa. Yes,
मैम आप स्क्रीन शेयरिंग कर रहे हो
yes,
मैम फोटोज कुछ नहीं आ रही
1 minute.
Ma'am, Sia is in the waiting room.
But this is the problem. पता नहीं what. So now We have discussed now about Cape Town water crisis. People are in a queues, no water. Cape Town calls, city facing disaster as huge water drought. So a city changes its habit. Starting in 2017 and 12 April 2018 declared as zero day. Now after that, this is the beginning of a chapter, that is water resource. Is it visible to all?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. 1 minute. Now is it over? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
this is the chapter number 3, water resources. And I think through South Africa's story tells us about the importance of water. Now, you just see TV reports, flood in some parts of the country, and drought in some other parts. Recently, you have observed about cyclone in Odisha and Tamil Nadu. So TV reports on floods in Odisha, Tamil Nadu. My God, what havoc they have created! It has destroyed and swept away everything in its path. So the two friends were discussing about this. I think you also discussed many times of these things. Is it not? It's strange that water can give life and take life as well. We know that water gives us life, but it can take the life also when it converts into disasters. So what would we do without water? I think everybody can give the answer of this, isn't it? What will be the life without water? Anybody will give the answer? Yes. What will be the life without water? Can you imagine your life without water?
No life.
No, ma'am.
No life, because we call that Earth is a unique planet. And what makes Earth a unique planet?
Becomes of oxygen and water.
That is water.
Availability of all necessary things.
Not necessary things. So hey, we are having in all the places necessary things on the planets, but we are searching only water.
Ma'am, fresh water.
Water. We are searching only water, because when we are talking about the Earth, so that is lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere is a combination of all. And our Earth is, that's why our Earth is called a unique planet. It is also called a blue planet. So now first we will discuss about the uses of water. I think it is a very general question. Last year also we have discussed about uses of water. We need water to drink, cook our food, wash our clothes, and wash ourselves as well. And along with this, we need a lot of water for a number of things. That is for the agriculture purpose, for the industrial purpose, as well as for the hydroelectricity. So now we can easily understand why through the ages we humans have chosen to live near water courses. If you will see the human civilization also start with along with the river valleys, isn't it? The first civilization start with the Indus Valley civilization. It is called. So now we know about this thing that water, our earth is covered with 3/4 with water, but still only a proportion of it used as a fresh water. So what are the sources of fresh water? When we are talking about the water, so what are the sources of fresh water? Anybody can tell? What are the sources of fresh water? From where can we get
Ma'am, rainwater.
running
Ma'am,
water?
river water. Running
River water. River water itself a running water. So basically we can
Ma'am,
say
rainwater.
rainwater. Very good. So basically,
Ma'am,
I think
ground.
brown water. You know the answer. Basically, fresh water is mainly obtained from surface runoff. Surface runoff means that is बहता हुआ पानी. That is आपका rivers का भी हो सकता है, ponds का हो सकता है, lakes का हो सकता है. तो surface runoff and groundwater, and that is कहाँ से आता है वो? That is continually being renewed and recharged through the hydrological cycle. Or hydrological cycle means that is
Water cycle.
precipitation. That is water cycle. Yani that means precipitation. So all water moves within the hydrological cycle. We can say that sometimes some people say that ocean water is of no use because it's a salty water. But still, it works as a evaporation. Evaporate hota hai, then condensation, and that converts into precipitation. So all water moves within the hydrological cycle, ensuring, and that indicates that water is a renewable source. Or hydrological cycles say when it comes, and we can easily understand that water is a renewable resource. But still, nowadays we are talking about water is converting into a non-renewable resource, because as compared to supply, demand is high, isn't it? Just now we have seen the images of South Africa, Cape Town. Now, when we are talking about 3/4, I think in first standard, when you have started studying about EVS or social science, the first, our land is covered with, our earth is covered with land and water. And maximum land is land, earth is covered with the water. That is 3/4 of the world's part is covered with water, which is a renewable resource. But still, the countries are facing water scarcity around the globe. It is predicted that by 2025, that is not too far, अब तो बड़े भी नहीं होंगे. By 2025, nearly 2 billion people will live in an absolute water scarcity. So now we will discuss about some facts and figures about water. And that is 96.5% of the total volume is estimated in oceans, and only 2.5% as fresh water. And nearly 70% of this fresh waters what is this? 70% of the fresh waters occurs as ice sheets, glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland, and the mountainous regions of the world. And that means a little less than 30% is stored as groundwater. India receives nearly 4% of the global precipitation and ranks 133 in the world in terms of water availability per person per annum. The total renewable water resources of India are estimated 1,897 square kilometers per annum. And when we predicted that by 2025, nearly 2 billion people will live in absolute water scarcity, and India also, it is predicted that India will also, a large part of India will also convert, will join countries or regions having absolute water scarcity. And now we are talking about the water scarcity and the need for water conservation and management. You just see these images. What does this depict? Water, water everywhere, not a drop of rain. There is a heavy rainfall. A boy collects drinking water in Kolkata. Life in the city and its adjacent districts. You just see the situation right now in Maharashtra, Mumbai, heavy rainfall. We have discussed about the cyclones in Tamil Nadu and Odisha. Life in the city and its adjacent districts are paralyzed as incident overnight rain, meaning a record 100 mm flooded vast area and disturbed periphery. This is a situation of heavy rainfall, and this is a situation, a Kashmiri earthquake survivor carries water in the snow in a devastated village. Another image that is, it is not of India, it is a country, Israel, where 25 centimeter annual rainfall, 25 centimeter annual rainfall country, no scarcity of water. And as compared to this India, which is having 114 centimeter annual rainfall, we also face the water scarcity, desert-like situation. So causes of water scarcity not only due to the lack of water, but sometimes it is due to the excessive water also. Because we are not having a proper water conservation management policies. So due to this maximum rainwater that is not used for the conservation, it is waste. It is waste and merged with the sea water, ocean water. So now we'll discuss about water scarcity and the need for water conservation and management. There is an abundance and renewability of water, but it is difficult to imagine that we may suffer from water scarcity. If you will discuss with your grandparents, they will not understand the situation of water scarcity. The moment we speak of water shortage, since we are living in a capital of the country, we are not able to understand the situation. So as we speak of water shortage, we immediately associate it with the regions having low rainfall or drought area. And immediately visualize. And whenever we speak about drought area, we visualize the deserts of Rajasthan and the moment balancing many matkas used for collecting and storing water and traveling long distances to get water. Is it also true? The availability of water resources varies. Last year also, in the climate chapter, we have discussed about that Mawsynram in Khasi Hills receives the highest rainfall of the world, and the capital city of that particular state is having drought-like condition. So that means availability of water resources varies over space and time, mainly due to the variation in seasonal and annual precipitation. But water scarcity in most cases is caused by overexploitation, excessive use, and unequal access to water among different social groups. According to Felmin Mark, which is a Swedish expert, water stress occurs. In the situation, you just see, we are talking about the water stress. Water stress occurs when water availability is between. You just discuss with your mom, जब पानी नहीं होता. So situation कितनी awkward हो जाती है. And you got a call from your relatives that they are supposed to come and there's no water at home. So water stress occurs. So according to this Swedish expert, water stress occurs when water availability is between 1000 and 1600 cubic meters per person per year. Where is then water scarcity occur? We have discussed about the hydrological cycle. Water is a renewable resource. We can get fresh water from precipitation, surface runoff, and groundwater. Is it possible that an area or region may have ample water but is still facing water scarcity? Like you just see, Mumbai, Maharashtra, enough rainfall, but still the city is not having adequate water resource. They face water scarcity, especially in monsoon season. So many of our cities are such examples. Delhi is also an example of this. Water scarcity may be an outcome of large and growing population when there is high demand and low supply and unequal access to it. Because when we are talking about the large population, a large population means more water, not only for domestic use, but also to produce more food, and that means agriculture purpose, higher food production. Water resources are being overexploited to expand irrigated areas, and rice is an agriculture. Since our main aim to increase the agriculture production, because when the population will increase, they require more food. And to increase the agriculture production, what we require, that is irrigation facilities. I think many times you have seen in television ad also that most farmers have their own wells and tube wells. Like last year also we have discussed about the story of village Palampur, that most of the farmers have installed wells or tube wells in their farms for irrigation to increase their production. But what will be the result? That means lead to falling groundwater levels, adversely affected water availability and food security of the people. So this is related with the agriculture. So that is population, overpopulation, overexploitation of water. And when we got independence, post-independence also, and that is the second cause of water scarcity is industrialization and urbanization. After independence, India also witnessed intense industrialization and urbanization, creating vast opportunities for us because they are providing employment opportunities. So large industrial houses are as commonplace as the industrial units of many MNCs. MNCs, I think we have already discussed about the MNCs. And MNCs requires, industries require more pressure on existing fresh water. Industries, apart from being heavy users of water, also require power to run them. That is hydroelectricity. Much of this energy comes from hydraulic electric power. As multiplying urban centers, because at the time of independence, till date, cities, urban centers have multiplied number. That means large and dense population and urban lifestyles have not only added to water and energy requirements, but have further aggravated the problem. If you are living in a housing society or colonies in the cities, most of houses have groundwater pumping devices. That is motor, I think you can say, to meet their water needs. Maximum houses are in urban areas. We find that fragile water resources are being overexploited and have caused their depletion in several of these cities. So when we are talking about the water scarcity, so water scarcity is having two parts. One is quantitative and another is qualitative. When now we have discussed only on quantitative aspects of water scarcity. Now, just imagine the situation where water is sufficiently available to meet the needs of the people, but the area still suffers from water scarcity. And this scarcity may be due to bad quality of water, because nowadays, if there is ample water to meet the needs of the people, much of it may be polluted. And this pollution is by domestic, industrial waste, chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers used in agriculture. And that makes water hazardous for human use. And India's most of the rivers are polluted due to the expansion of agriculture and industrial waste. India's rivers, especially the smaller ones, have all turned into toxic streams. Even the big ones like Ganga and Yamuna. Most of you normally say that Yamuna, a river or a rain, are far from being pure. But during the COVID-19, in this pandemic situation, when every production activities was controlled at that time, they have itself, because water is having the